that teams make the most improvement from the first to the second game. How have the practices gone so far for the Scrappers this week?
Well, it's gone real well, and you're talking about making the most improvement for the first and second ball game, and I believe that too, and I've always said that, but I don't know how we can get any better than running 5 plays and scoring 4 touchdowns. And, that's just watching them, and again, really in my lifetime it's happened. And I've been playing football a long time and coaching football a long time, and it's never happened before. But, you go out and you kind of get those first game jitters over with. You get used to the crowd. You get used to the noise out there, and you kind of settle down a little bit. And we work on different things and trying to get ourselves ready that second week. We work on the mistakes that we made the first week, try to correct those. And sometimes they're not major mistakes, they're just small things that we do to try to correct those. And most of the time you do that between that first and that second ball game right there. So I guess that's why we all think as coaches and a lot of other people that you get better, your most improvement comes from that first week to the second week, because I think you can see the big things that you do wrong. You do more things wrong, I think, that first week than you do any other time of the year. So we've had good work. Our kids, they're focused. They know what they want to do. It's been an enjoyable group to work with, even though I think we've got a lot of pressure on us, because of the anticipation of the year, being ranked #1 in the state in AA. But these kids, they seem to be able to handle that right there. They're focused. They know what they want to do. They've got a goal in mind. We've got 22 seniors out there that are doing an excellent job of leading us in practice, and they'll have to continue to do that. There'll be some ups and downs throughout the year that they'll have to pick up this entire football team, and they're doing a good job. So I've been pleased the way it's gone up until this week, and also as far as the way it's practice gone this week too.
Well, Coach, once again, the game will be on the road. We'll play in Ashdown, and we want lots of our fans to follow us there, as we know they will, and we look forward to Friday night's game.
Well, I don't believe we have to worry about the Nashville fans going. We go 2.5 hours down to Junction City down there last week on that hot, humid night. Our people were there. They'll show up down there. We really get a big boost from those people when they go to those football games. Our kids hear them. People ask me questions about that. Our band and our cheerleaders and our fans that follow us, it means an awful lot to our football team, and they help us. They give us energy out there on Friday night to keep us going. And I don't ever worry when we go on the road, because I know the National Scrapper fans will always be there, and I appreciate what they've done.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for taking the time to visit with us here on the Coaches Show, talk about the ball game, talk about the upcoming ball game. And also on the production, we want to thank tonight Glenn Power, Dennis McBride, Cliff Petty, and Jay Todd, who have helped us with the production of this program. We thank you for joining us for the program of the Coaches Show with Nashville Scrapper head football coach Billy Laird, and we hope that you'll join us again next week as we'll recap the Ashdown Panther ball game. Join us again next week for the Coaches Show.
Officials tonight, the referee is Randy Mann, the line judge is Alan Weber, baseman, the line is Johnny Wainwright, and the umpire is Eddie Banks. Junction City, number 3, Ross Brown, and number 9, Jay Allen.
We want to welcome you to the 1996 Scrapper football season as we're in Junction City getting ready to take on the Junction City Dragons. We have the coin toss taking place right now at midfield. The captains for the Scrappers, number 83, Chris Walker, and number 85, Marcus Jordan. Captains for the Junction City Dragons, number 3, Carlos Grimes, and number 9, Joey Allen. We'll await the results here in just a moment on the coin toss. Glad you've joined us for the Scrapper football season here in opening game of 1996.
Kind of a long trip, Charles, as coaches have said. It's a schedule this year they really didn't want. They've got it that way. It'll be 3 straight ball games opening up the season on the road. This one a long trip today and tonight, getting set to open up the season with this game. But nevertheless, it's time to play some football.
Yes, it is. We're starting the 1996 football season. And, Rick, before we actually start the season, I want to send my condolences out to the Foltz family and let them know that everyone is thinking about them. They're part of the Scrapper family, and they are not forgotten. Believe me, they're heavy on our minds and on our hearts. And I know these young men across the way, it's in their mind also. And we're going to see how it affects them tonight. But, again, our condolences goes out to you, and if you're listening, I don't know whether you would be or not, but you may be, or later on you may hear this. And we just want you to know you're part of our family, and what affects the Scrapper family affects every one of us, and our hearts just go out to you.
Well, as we were waiting Junction City to come out, they'll be doing that here in just a moment. Scrappers won the coin toss. They will be kicking off, and Junction City will be receiving. Scrappers came out a good moment ago, Charles. They're ready to get this season underway. As a matter of fact, I know that it's been something like over 3 weeks now from the time that we began the 2-a-day practices. School has gotten started, and they've had a couple of weeks of that. And now all of a sudden we're having a chance to get the football game underway. And I, for one, want to say thanks a lot to the coaches and to our faculty for the way they've worked with our young people over the past week in particular. And I know they've really helped them. Once our young people leave the homes, we have to rely upon them, too. And we'd like to give our support and thanks to the coaching staff and, of course, to all the faculty members for all that they helped our young people go through this past week. We're just about set to get football underway tonight. We welcome you in once again. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'm Rick Castleberry along with Charles Hubbard, and with the Scrappers set to kick this one off and get it underway, we're going to turn to Charles Hubbard right now as Junction City. We still await them to come on out onto the playing field.
All right, the Scrappers dressed in their white jerseys tonight. Of course, their orange helmets, orange pants tonight. Junction City coming out with their traditional, I guess you call that is that a type of a purple, Rick? It doesn't look as purple as it normally does, but that's what it's supposed to be. And they have yellow numerals on their jerseys. Scrappers will be kicking north to south, and of course moving right to left, which is on your radio dial. That is south to north for the Junction City Dragons. And Stabley has the ball on the tee. He's your kicker. And just about ready to get the 1996 Scrapper football season underway. The arm is in the air, and the official has given the signal. And there it is, and Stabley makes the approach, and there it is. It's a short kick, and it will hit at the 25 and bound. It's going to be picked up by Grimes as he cuts upfield, and he's tackled immediately at about the 29.
And we got making the tackle is going to be number 33, Cleotis Hughes for the Scrappers.
So the Scrappers have their defense out there. Up front, led by Clint Reed, Aaron Westfall, Rico Newton. He's a sophomore. And Herschel Taylor up front. We'll get the rest of them on there in just a moment. Splitting out wide to the right side will be Justin Brantley for the Dragons. Ball right in the middle of the field. It's a wishbone formation. Fisher down under, hands off fullback up the middle, met by number 4 for the Scrappers, and that's going to be Jab Johnson. He'll make the initial hit along with Latree Richards and give him about 2 yards on the gain just across the 30-yard line. We'll set it up as second down and 8. Clock running here. That was the first play of the ball game. Ball still right in the middle of the field. And they'll send out wide to the left side now is Fred Cower. And handoff up the middle. Good run. And that's going to be on the run number 3. And that is Carlos Grimes. And he's close to the first down, and he's got it. Coming up is Paul Wayne Ray to make the hit for the Scrappers. And that'll be a first down now for the Dragons.
Just a moment ago, a pretty good opening defensive play that the Scrappers held them for only about 2 yards, but then you can see the ability of Carlos Grimes coming up, picking up the first down for Junction City.
Just across the 40-yard line. Handoff goes again, right up the middle, not much. on the carry. Grimes again on the carry. And he will get it to about the 43-yard line, give him 2. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Ball is still right in the middle of the field. They haven't run anything wide. They're just trying to pound it right up the middle against the Scrappers. Opening drive of the ball game. Junction City has it. And they'll send out wide to the right side now for the Dragons will be number 9, and that is going to be Joey Allen. Handoff again up the middle, and this time he breaks the tackle, and that's Grayson on the carry. And he'll get across the 45, a pickup of about 5 on the carry, Jab Johnson, and it looked like Mark McGill coming up to make the hit for the Scrappers. And it'll be about 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. I'm going to call it the 47-yard line. It's on the left hash mark now for the Dragons. And Brantley wide to the left side now. Still that wishbone formation. Fisher down under. Handoff fullback up the middle. Met there. Nothing. Rico Newton got him first. And that's going to be number 22. That's Addy on the carry. It'll bring up 4th down now and about 2 yards. Maybe a long 2 for the Dragons at about the 49-yard line. That's the Dragon 49. And we're going to see if they punt it away, and if they do, it should be Mario Moore. They've toyed with different ones, as some teams do early in the season, on who's going to punt. And it's Mario Moore standing at about his own, well, he's still moving around his own 35, and Washington back deep in single safety for the Scrappers. Long count, trying to pull the Scrappers off. Low snap, goes between his legs. Herschel Taylor's got to get him in the backfield. He had his knee down, and he's down at the 30. The ball went right between his legs. And Herschel Taylor was there, and Moore had no place to go. And when he tried to pick the ball up, he had his knee down. He tried to get up and run, but he was signaled down at that point. So with 9:01 left here in the first period of play, the Scrappers will take over. Big break at the 31-yard line of the Junction City Dragons. We're seeing a new rule take effect here now, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment. Ball on the right hash mark, McBride down under, split backs for the Scrappers. McBride, straight drop, wants to throw. A little bit of pressure, long pass is complete to Reed, touchdown Scrappers. Derek Reed down the left sidelines, caught it, he was wide open, got behind the defender, and the Scrappers on one play score on a 31-yard drive, and that play took about 7 seconds.
Well, I think it would have been an understatement if I'd said it earlier. One thing that you didn't want to do was turn the ball over and let the Scrappers have it so deep in your own territory. That is exactly what Junction City did a moment ago on that muff punt attempt. Scrappers come in with that potent offense. A good thing for Derek Reed, a good touchdown, 31-yard touchdown play as Derek scores and gets into the, we're going to count a lot on him as a receiver.
Okay, McGill to hold, and Reed to snap. That's Clint Reed. And Stavely to try the extra point. There's a high snap. McGill got it down. It's up. Looks good. And it is. Good job by Mark McGill to take that high snap and to get it down on the tee. So the Scrappers now lead with 8 minutes, 53 seconds left here in the first period. 7-0 over the Junction City Dragons. You're listening to Scrapper Football. The Scrappers score in one play after a bad snap on the punt by the Junction City Dragons. One play, Jared McBride to Derek Reed. 31 yards on the pass. PAT good by Stavely. 7-0 Scrappers, and Stavely with the ball on the tee, ready to kick off once again. So the official getting things set. Beautiful night for football here in Junction City. And believe me, the field is not wet tonight. There's a longer kick. It's going to be taken by Grimes. He fumbles it at the 15, picks it up, cuts back, and almost a fumble. I thought that Cleotis Hughes was going to jerk that ball right out of his arms. Rick, great job by Cleotis Hughes. And then a couple of other players coming up. It looked like possibly in there. Rodney Campbell in on the play also for the Scrappers. It will be marked at the 29 once again for the Junction City Dragons.
Exactly where they started the possession just a moment ago there.
All right. Let's see what the Scrapper defense does here. Split in to the left side. Again, the wishbone formation. Quarterback wants to roll and wanted to option to his right, and I tell you what, Clint Reed just destroyed the play. He was on the quarterback before he knew what happened.
That's a good way for the defensive end to come up and really squash the option out around his side, Charles. Clint Reed doing his job. Clint's come in to really play that defensive end position quite well.
Loss of a yard on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd down and 11 now for the Dragons just inside the right hash mark. And they'll send their split in now to the left side, and that's going to be Cower once again. Again, the wishbone formation. Handoff on the crossbuck. Good play, Grayson. Good defense by the Scrappers. Coming up in a hurry. Let me get that number and see who it was. I believe that was going to be Hendricks. What a play. Met him at the 30 when Rick, it looked like he was going to get a good 4 or 5 yards. Out of nowhere came Hendricks and hit him just across the 30. We'll give him 2 on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 9 now for the Dragons.
Well, Leslie has been entering into his senior year here, Charles, and this is going to be his 3rd year starting as a linebacker, so he is really seasoned at that position.
Split into the left side, and that's going to be Moore. Wishbone again, drop back. Quarterback wants to throw, heavy pressure. Taylor forced him first, and then the Scrappers come up. Richards and I believe that's Jab Johnson. And then coming up a little bit late was going to be Hendricks, but he's thrown for a loss. And let's wait until they mark it. It's going to be about the 27-yard line, we'll call it. So it will now be 4th down. And Scrappers will have 2 back. Paul Wayne Ray and Greg Washington back deep to receive. And Moore again in punt formation. And this won't be a fake. It's too far. Better snap. Fumbled it. Picked it up. Low kick. Almost hit a Scrapper. And Washington's going to pick it up and try to make something out of it. And he's going to have his jersey ripped off of him. And he's going to be tackled for a little bit of a loss on the return back to about the 44-yard line. Very dangerous.
That's the one kind every now and then you can break, but just too many players got everything jumbled up there, Charles, and he just couldn't find a seam to kind of break to the outside. And then there was great coverage by Junction City.
All right, there is a penalty that's going to be assessed, I believe, by the Dragons. Scrappers may want to take it. They're talking to illegal procedure, and the Scrappers are going to decline it. They're going to take the ball at the, well, I'm going to call it the 43. I called it the 44 a moment ago. It's actually just outside the 43, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there, call it the 43. That new rule change, by the way, is that the clock stops on the change of possession, and it does not start until the ball is snapped. The play clock will start, but not the game clock. That's going to make these games run a little bit longer. So if it's 9:30 and we're still playing, you'll know why. In motion goes Martin to his left. McBride drops, looks left, wants to throw, complete. It's going to be Washington at the 40. He's at the 35. He's at the 30, still on his feet. Makes a cut at the 25, down to the 20, inside the 20. And it's going to be a host of defenders over there making the tackle. Ramsey is one of them, and Grimes another one. There looks like might be a flag over there. It's going to be marked at the 18-yard line. We'll see. It's going to be a personal foul called against the Junction City Dragons.
That play covered 39 yards on a pass play completion to Washington.
And there's going to be a timeout on the field, I believe. Let's see. Now, let's don't call that yet. And we've got 2 coaches walking out on the field and a couple of the water boys for the Dragons wanting to go out there, but so far there's been no timeout signaled. And Coach Laird is almost in the huddle. And now the official is asking them to go back to the sidelines. Personal foul, Junction City. And they'll walk it off, and the spot is going to be the 9-yard line. So now there's going to be a timeout by the Dragons. 6:24 left here in the first period. Scrappers leading 7-0, but they're driving. They're at the Dragon 9-yard line with a first down and goal. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Scrappers with a first and goal now at the Junction City 9-yard line. The Scrappers have run 3 plays now. The first play they ran was a touchdown. It was a McBride to Derek Reed. And the next play they ran on their next possession, pass play, goes to Washington for a big gainer down to the 18. And it was a late hit by the Dragons, so that moves it to the 9. So they're coming up on their third play now of this ball game. We've got a slot to the right side with split backs. Washington, the wideout. McBride drops, looks right, throws in the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Well, I'll tell you what, they are making it look awfully easy. And that comes with 6 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the first period.
9 yards on the touchdown going to Washington on the pass. Washington with 2 pass receptions on that particular drive, covering 48 yards. And again, so far McBride has completed 3 out of 3 passes. So Charles, opening moments here, he's looking great. Receivers, as you mentioned, have been wide open.
Okay, Stavely to attempt the point after. McGill to hold. He did a great job a moment ago. Let's see what happens here. There's a snap. It's a good one. Placement down, kick up, and he drilled it. No, they say it's off. Boy, he hit it, and Rick, it hit right. It looked like it was directly behind the uprights, but they say no good. So the score will hold it 13-0. Scrappers here with 6:19 left in the first period. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Everybody says, well, I'm having trouble with my tongue tonight, and I'm also now having trouble with my eyesight. But I'll tell you what, if the flagpole is directly behind in line with the goalpost, which I did not check earlier, but I would have assumed that it was, it didn't hit the ground 2 foot to the right of it. So whatever. Everybody else said they thought it was good. So everybody's got bad eyesight. Here we go. There's the kickoff by Stavely. It's going to go to the 15-yard line. And it's going to be, let's see who that is, but it's going to be a good tackle coming up to make the hit. It's number 22 for the Scrappers, and that's going to be Robert Witherspoon, a Scrapper sophomore. He made the initial hit along with Rodney Campbell and Jamie Irby. And the return is to the 24. I'll tell you what, I'm going to run out of room on my sheet. We haven't played 6 full minutes here. 6:12 left here in the first period. There's a pass across the middle, complete. And a tackle by Leeper and McGill, and the completion is to Brantley. On a quick look in. And it's for a first down at the 40-yard line. So that's the best play of the night for the Dragons. Well, they've been to exactly the same spot before, and they might have got, I think on their next carry, they got 2 yards. Well, let's see if they improve on that. Wishbone, ball on the left hash mark, split into the right side for the Dragons. Handoff, toss, rather. Big run, 45 to the 48-yard line. And Dragons beginning to feel like they've got something going here. Grayson on the carry, and McGill coming up along with Jab Johnson to make the hit. And that will bring up second down and about 4 yards to go for the first down. Mark it at about the 48-yard line. Actually, they got to get just across the midfield stripe. So it's a long 3, short 4 for the Dragons. Ball still on the left hash mark. Wide to the right side is Joey Allen. Split in. Wishbone again. Fisher down under at quarterback. Drops. Rolls to his right. Passes across the middle. Incomplete. And they're going to call pass interference on Paul Wayne. And I'll tell you, Rick, it was very good. I'll tell you what, I don't think he got him. I think it was just great defense. And it was a questionable call in my opinion. Well, that's what they're going to call.
One thing going back, Fisher's got a pretty quick release. He held that ball down low, and then all of a sudden he came up with it up high, and a quick release trying to hit that little look-in pass. And I really didn't see Paul Wayne's defense there until the play had already happened, so I'm not real sure.
It looked awfully good. And to tell you the truth, he would not have caught the ball, I don't think, either. But they're going to call it. And Paul Wayne Ray, a Striper sophomore, and he's doing a good job. He's going to be a dandy. Give him a first down at the Scrapper 38-yard line now. 5:03 left here in the first period. Scrappers leading 13-0. Ball on the left hash mark. Split in again to the right side. Carlos Grimes up the middle, and I don't think they get him. Leeper caught him at about the 15, and they're going to call a face mask, I believe, against the Scrappers at the 10.
Well, Scrappers jumped off with a couple of scores here, Charles, but I'm going to say it's a spirited bunch of Junction City Dragons. Pretty fine-looking ball club, and they have stayed right in there. This has been a good offensive drive for them.
All right. Boy, they are fired up. I'll tell you what now, they say that Carlos Grimes is a college prospect, and they even want to go as far as to say that he is a major college prospect.
Where's the ball spotted as we await the discussion here on the penalty? Where's the ball right now?
I'm not sure where they've got it yet, Rick, because I haven't seen them actually set it
the 6, I believe?
No, it's further out than that. They're going to mark
10. It was on the 11 originally.
Mask. And if you put the glasses on it, guys, I believe it's going to be at about the 6, is it not? Or just shy of the 5.
About a 26-yard run for Grimes, and boy, he burst through there in a hurry.
Brantley wide to the left side. Quarterback drops, rolls, wants to run. The Scrappers are after him, going to throw him for a loss. A good job to turn him in. It's going to be Taylor, and he could not get around Taylor, so that held him up, and Johnson came up along with a couple of others.
One thing that we can mention here that we've seen the last couple of plays, pretty good quickness also out of Junction City.
They're going to mark it at about the 8-yard line. Maybe even slightly outside the 8. Ball on the left hash mark now. And they've used a lot of receivers. Murphy wide to the right side now. Again, the wishbone. They're going to hand it off to Grimes, and this time he doesn't get loose, but he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, maybe the 5. And that'll bring up a third down now for the Dragons. Looks like McGill on the hit with Paul Wayne Ray. And we'll mark it at the 5. Third down and goal for the Dragons. I would assume they would go for it on 4th down even. They'll send Cower wide to the left side. Ball almost in the middle of the field. Wishbone, handoff. And a good run and a good tackle. It's going to be number 40, Sam Grayson, on the carry. And coming up to make the hit, Leeper is one of those. And let's see who else. Jab Johnson again. He's having a good workout tonight. Herschel Taylor in on the play also. That will bring up 4th down. And let's try to get a spot, and there's going to be a timeout on the field. Looks like the spot is about the 3-yard line. So with 3:26 left here in the first period, 13-0. Scrappers timeout on the field. Dragons with a 4th down and 3, and 4th down and goal at the 3 is what the situation will be. Back in just a moment. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Scrapper 3-yard line for the Junction City Dragons. The Scrappers leading 13-0. This drive aided by a penalty, but also it was aided by an excellent run by Carlos Grimes. And then the penalty on the end of that run set it up at 1st and goal at the 6. And here we go, 4th down for the Dragons. They're up to the line of scrimmage, just to the left of the middle of the field. They have broken the wishbone. No, they're back in it now. And quarterback is going to roll. He's going to try to cut it upfield. He isn't going to make it. Ladree Richards there first. Aaron Westfall also in on the play. Let's see if we can get a couple of more in there for the Scrappers. Big defensive play. And there's about 3 or 4 of them in there. And they're going to mark him at about the line of scrimmage, about the 3-yard line. So the Dragons run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays and stall at the Scrapper 3. So the Scrappers will take over with 3:18 left here in the first period. And the Dragons used just a little over 3 minutes on that particular drive. So we'll have Dugan and Hughes, the setbacks. Slot goes to the right side for the Scrappers. That's Reed and Washington split. And there's the pass. Long pass downfield. Washington has it at the 35. Makes a cut at the 45. 50. One man blocked by Reed. 35-30. Nobody's going to get him. 20, 15, 10. 5. Touchdown, Greg Washington. We'll call it 97 yards. Oh, my goodness. There's no flags on the field. And we'll call it 97 yards. McBride to Washington.
That brings the excitement into this season, Charles. A good 97-yard pass reception for a touchdown.
Well, that was a perfect pass. That was just a fly pattern by Washington down the right side. And McBride hung it up there and just let Washington run under it. And it was not really that good of a defense by the Dragons. So Stavely to try to get the extra point. Here we go. Snap down, placement up, looks good. And this time it is. So the Scrappers now lead 19 or 20-0 rather over the Junction City Dragons. 3 minutes now left in the first period. Back in just a moment. There was a personal foul on the point after attempt by Junction City. It was declined, so the point after attempt stands by the Scrappers, and they again will be kicking north to south. Their third kickoff. The Scrappers have run 4 plays, folks, and they're ahead 20-0.
And for Greg Washington, a couple of stats here. Greg has 3 pass receptions for 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and so far, Jared McBride is 4 out of 4 in the passing department. We'll add up some of this yardage here in just a minute.
All right, the Scrappers with the ball on the tee once again. And I see Blake Young out there for the Scrappers. Got his back to the return. He's the man that's going to signal, let's go. And again, Stavely kicking north to south. There's the approach. There's the kick. And this one will be taken at the 15. That's Grayson. Straight up the middle into the pile and knocked straight back. And that is going to be Robert Witherspoon in there along Brandon Rowland. Also number 64 on the sheet is Garrett Robinson. So those 3 hit Grayson and knocked him right straight back. There was 2 sophomores in on that play, Brandon Rowland and Robert Witherspoon.
He looked like there for a minute he was going to have a little momentum going up through the middle in that Scrapper pursuit there, just really pushed him back. Charles mentioning a moment ago for Jared McBride, he's 4 out of 4 so far for 176 yards.
All right, Junction City will take over at their own 28-yard line to start this drive. The clock will not start until they snap the ball. Wishbone formation, split into the left side. Quarterback Fisher drops, looks, just flings it out of bounds about 15 yards. He knew he was going to get hit. so he just threw it away. If he'd have threw it to the receiver, there were 3 scrappers over there that could have had a chance, and 2 of those, Leaper and Johnson, McGill behind, and it looked like maybe even Paul Wayne Ray had floated over that way. So it goes incomplete, and that again will stop the clock with 2:47. Folks, we may not get home until 4 o'clock in the morning if this keeps up. 2:47, as I said, left here in the first period, and now they're going to send another man to the left side, thorough kill, and Wishbone on the cross buck. That's Grayson across the 30 to about the 32. And it looks like Westfall on the bottom of the pile with Taylor, and somebody is not feeling well. Getting up a little bit slow, and that's Jab Johnson. He's up, but he's not feeling real well. 4-yard pickup, 3rd down, and about 7 yards to go now for the Dragons, marking at about the 32. Ball on the left hash mark. It looks like Jab Johnson's going to trot off of the field, and coming in for him is going to be John Jordan. Wishbone again, handoff same play, and Jordan's going to get in on the play. He didn't make the initial hit, but Aaron Westfall did, along with Herschel Taylor. And that's going to bring up 4th down now for the Dragons, 3 downs and out. It'll be 4th and about 5 yards to go. Mark it to 30, just outside, or just inside rather, the 34-yard line. So Mario Moore in to punt it away to Greg Washington and Paul Wayne Ray. Moore standing on about his own 22-yard line. And let's see if they get a good snap off this time. And it's a better one, and handled better. Not a great kick, however. It will be taken. Washington picks it up at the 38, 40, 45. He's at midfield, 45, 40. He's going to be gone. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Greg Washington. On a return. Oh, my goodness, this is getting ugly, folks. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds left here in the first period.
That's a 29-yard punt, and you heard it, return there for the touchdown from the 38-yard line, 62-yard return. Greg Washington now with 3 touchdowns.
Okay, my goodness, 1:10 left in this period, and it's already gotten away.
Well, there was a good scare there just a moment ago when Junction City drove it down to our own 3-yard line.
Wait a minute, we didn't see something. Evidently, he must have stepped out, and we didn't see that official over there. So now I've got to change my sheet here.
I will
Mark
too.
at the 23-yard line. Okay, the 23. McBride. Screen. It's complete. And that's going to be Cleotis Hughes, I believe, is who that is. 32, that's Leaper, and he's into the end zone. Let's make sure that's 32 and not 33. I thought it was 33.
No, that's Lavelle.
That is Leaper.
That is Leaper.
It sure is. So Lavelle Leaper. Well, we wipe out 1 and still 1:10 on the clock. They didn't even run the play clock, the game clock then, folks. I don't have to change anything but the touchdown. That is a 20. What did I say? 23 yards.
23 yards.
23 yards. Screen to number 32. All right, now the PAT. I kind of wish they hadn't stopped the clock. Okay, here we go. There's a snap, placement down, kick up. Looks good to me, and it is. So now the Scrappers lead 27-0 over the Junction City Dragons. We'll be back in just a moment. Folks, we hadn't even had a second down yet. Did you know that? and we have 27 points. We've had nothing but first downs. Oh, mercy. There's a kickoff by Stavely. This time it's going to hit at the 15. It'll be fielded on the bounce by Carlos Grimes. He looks for a hole, gets outside. He's got speed, and it's going to be Blake Young running him out of bounds. Well, way to the mark at the 47 of Junction City. So Blake Young doing his job, had the outside contained on the right side, and he handled it. So that's not the highlight of the game so far for the Junction City Dragons, but folks, we're still in the first period. There is 1 minute left here in the first period.
Charles, they
moved it back. They moved it back. I wish they wouldn't do those kind of things to me. That moved it back now to the 44. Now they had it spotted up there, but now they moved it back. Evidently somebody else saw something. So 1st and 10 from the 44 for the Dragons. And they'll send Murphy to the left side. Again, the wishbone. Ball on the left hash mark. Fisher down under. Handoff, fullback up the middle. Found a little seam there. Picks up about 4 yards on the carry. And just a host of scrappers in on the defense. And it looks like a Demetric Hughes or Herschel Taylor also in there. And the scrappers evidently have already run some substitutes in there. We're going to give him 3 on the carry. Let's mark it at the 48. It's a long 3. Maybe I'll just go ahead and give him 4 like I did.
Yeah.
Wishbone. Quarterback drops. Pass across the middle, complete. A good job on the pass. Joey Allen on the reception at the scrapper 39. And getting up slow is going to be Mark McGill. And I'll tell you what, that was a good job by Fisher. And I'll tell you, coming off a little bit slow is Joey Allen, the young man that just caught that pass. And he's a little bit groggy. He got hit pretty hard, and McGill even came up hurting just a little bit. So that's another first down for the Dragons. And ball still on the left hash mark, split into the right side, wishbone, handoff, second man through, Carlos Grimes, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Hendricks, along with number 70, Latree Richards, in on the play. That's the end of the first period, 27-0. The Scrappers will be back with the second period right after these messages. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Well, Brent back at the studio asked us a question, and he said, have you ever seen a team run 5 plays in the first quarter and be ahead 27-0? And my answer is no, I have not. And probably will not do that again, more than likely. 27-0, the Scrappers, 5 plays. Not even a second down have they run. So the Dragons with the ball at the Scrapper 38-yard line. It'll be second down and about 9. The quarterback drops, passes downfield, and intercepted, I believe. No, he dropped it. McGill had it for a moment and then dropped it. And they were even thinking about a possible interference, but there should not have even been a question in their mind, because everybody has a right to the ball, and McGill almost came up with that one. He just couldn't hold on to it as he was going to the ground at the 30-yard line. So I'll stop the clock, I might add. 11:51 left here in the Rick, you know, you might have to check your watch and see how long it actually takes for one drive to be over. Time-wise. Lots of passes looks like it's going to happen tonight. Tilly Larry, wide to the right side, wishbone again. Third down, they give it off to Grayson, hit, and spins loose, and then he's hit again as he spun off that tackle. And it looks like a host of scrappers across the way coming up to make the hit. And Leslie Hendricks, the main one, will give him about a yard to about the 37. And it's going to bring up fourth down and about 8 yards, maybe 7.5 for the Dragons. You know they're going to go for it. They have to. They're down 27-0. So that's exactly what they're going to do. Scrappers still have their defensive unit out there on the field. Ball is on the left hash mark, and they'll send wide to the right side, Justin Brantley. And again, this is the wishbone for the Dragons. Quarterback Fisher drops, rolls, throws a long pass downfield, and it's a good play by Paul Wainwright, but they're going to call pass interference on him.
Ball had already bounced off of his fingertips, and then Paul Wayne went to grab him like making a tackle. But then they come back and call interference.
All right. That means that they are going to pick up the first down. It'll be a 15-yard penalty against the Scrappers from the line of scrimmage. And we're waiting till the officials get that all sorted out. I guess they've decided they're going to work on Paul Wayne tonight. Looked like pretty fair coverage to me, just as the earlier one did. And that'll mark it all the way down to the 23-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. This is the 6th play of this drive coming up now for the Dragons. And handoff, second man through, and he is swarmed under. That's Grimes. Looks like Herschel Taylor back there along with Aaron Westfall. There's a penalty, and it may be against the Dragons. Personal foul, Dragons. Probably mouthing off or talking. I didn't see anything other than it could have been that.
Yes, it was after the play, something there as they were.
It was definitely after the play, and somebody said something. Mark it, 15 yards against the Dragons, and that will be back to about the 38-yard line. And that's what, 2 penalties for 24 yards against the Dragons. Scrappers have 3 penalties for 35. So it will be second down because that play was a dead ball foul after the play. So not only did they lose the play and the yardage, then they also lose the yardage on the penalty. So that's going to bring up a second down and a long way. Rick, you'll have to get the wheel out. I'm not sure how far it is. Second man through, and that is going to be, I believe that's number 22, Addy, on the carry this time. And it's a good run back to about the 25-yard line.
Well, they faced a 2nd and 26 situation. They'll have to pick up a first at about the 11-yard line prior to that play.
So that's going to bring up third down and about 13.5 yards to go.
Addy picked up about 11 yards on that. Addy has 3 carries for 17 yards.
Ball is on the left hash mark. Still, they're in that wishbone formation. Split in to the right side. Quarterback drops, wants to throw across the middle, intercepted by Paul Wainwright. Had his knee on the ground at the 19, we'll call it the 18.
Actually, it's going to be on down to about the 13.
I'm sorry, it is, you're right, 13-yard line. But Paul Wainwright was in perfect shape that time to make that interception.
Up front, there was someone got through a lot of heavy pressure on Fisher that time when he released the ball. And Paul Wayne, knowing just the right time to make his cut, go ahead and commit and go for the interception. Because you got to remember, when he goes for that ball, he leaves his man. But a good timing. The ball was a little bit underthrown due to that pressure. And a good job of Paul Wayne to come up with the interception.
All right, 3 minutes and 10 seconds ran off the clock on that drive by the Dragons. Scrappers taking over at their own 13-yard line after the interception by Paul Wainwright. Split backs. Ball on the left hash mark. Running play by the Scrappers. That's Brian Dugan on the carry. Across the 15 to about the 17, maybe even the 18. I'm going to give him the 18. The Scrappers do not score on first down. And that is news tonight. With 9:30 left here in the first period, the Scrappers are going to run a second down play for the first time tonight. Ball is on the left hash mark. Walker to the right side along with Reed. Split backs again. Again a running play. This is Cleotis Hughes. Still on his feet. Close to the first down marker. Thrown back. Right about at the first down marker. We'll wait till we get the spot here. And I think it may be shy. We'll wait till the officials decide. They say it is not enough for the first down, so it's going to be third down. Well, it's a little bit further than I thought it was. It's going to be third down and a good yard and a half. So Scrappers have run two running plays. Reed to the right side, Walker to the left side. A running play. Cleotis Hughes, first down, Moore. He's at the 35, he's at the 40. He's across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and coming up to make the tackle is Sam Grayson for the Dragons.
He picks up a first down for the Scrappers there. Cleotis Hughes on that carry. And Charles, it's just come time that if you're going to leave your starting offense in there, it's come time now to work on the running. And that's what they're doing. Cleotis there running and picking up the first down.
All right, Cleotis ran behind Jason Davis and Douglas Garcia that time on the right side. Davis the tackle and Douglas the guard. So here we go. Ball still on the left hash mark. First down now for the Scrappers at their own 42. McBride down under. Again, running play. Cleotis Hughes, 45, midfield, across midfield to the 49. They may mark him even the 48. And Moore on the tackle. And coming up also is going to be number 22, Philip Addy. And that is very close to a first down. In fact, I think it is a first down. We'll wait till they look at it. And they say, now we're going to take a timeout, believe it or not. No, they say it's a first down. So Cleotis Hughes gets 10 yards exactly on that carry to pick up the first down for the Scrappers, again in Dragon territory at the 48. Ball is still on the left hash mark. 8:02 left here in the first half of play. Scrappers leading 27-0. Reed goes out wide to the right side and Walker to the left side. In motion goes Hughes to the right side. Pitched off. It's going to be Dugan. He's at the 45, 40. He's across the 40. He's across the 35. He's going to be marked at about the 34, unless they say his knee was down before that. And they're going to mark him actually just shy of the 35.
13-yard pickup for Dugan.
Another first down.
So back-to-back on running plays. Scrappers have picked up 10 yards or better for two first downs back-to-back. So, Charles, they're holding down pretty good first down percentage on their first plays.
Well, the Scrappers have a lot more players to play with out there, and the Dragons are tired young men already. Lone setback is going to be Hughes. And the Scrappers are going to be called in motion. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Scrappers. Looks like the slot back on the left side, and I believe that was Dugan. Moved before the snap. And what he did, he moved forward, and then he stopped. And if he stopped for a 3 count, they shouldn't have called it. And he was stopped for a while. You know, a back can go in motion. But ball call 5 yards. So back to the old first down again for the Scrappers. 7:13 left in the first half. Walker to the left side, Reed to the right side. We'll have slots to each side for the Scrappers. Dugan, the setback for the Scrappers. McBride down under, drops, looks, straight downfield, complete to Hughes. He's at the 20, inside the 20 to the 15. They'll mark him actually at the 16. So another first down for the Scrappers.
Pretty good pass protection that time for McBride, and he has completed all 6 of his pass attempts.
I'll tell you what, Rick, McBride looks pretty sharp tonight. Last week he got a chance to get his feet wet against another team, and you know, I think a few cobwebs there maybe, but boy, this week, I mean to tell you, he is deadly. Split backs for the Scrappers, wide receiver left and right. Hand off up the middle, Dugan. It's plugged up, stays on his feet, fights for yardage. He'll pick up about 4. And the Scrappers actually are going to face another second down. Their second down of the night. Mark it at about the 13-yard line, maybe slightly inside the 13. 6:20 left on the clock here in the first half. 27-0 Scrappers. Walker and Reed to the right side, split backs for the Scrappers. Martin, your tight end, lined up on that left side. McBride hands off. Bent in the backfield is Cleotis Hughes, does a good job of getting out of trouble. And he may have picked up a yard. A good job by the defense that time. Sturdivant coming up for the Dragons. And the Scrappers are actually going to face third down for the second time tonight. And actually, it's the second time in this drive. It's going to be second down and about 5 yards to go. Or excuse me, third down and 5 yards to go. And the ball is on the left hash mark. Long setback is Brian Dugan. Slots to each side. Hughes in motion to his right. Pitch toss, it'll be Dugan. He'll go to the right side. Cuts back, big hole. He fights close to the touchdown, and let's see where they mark him as he turned that corner. Good blocking over there by Cleotis Hughes. And that whole right side, it's a first down, Scrappers and goal. And we'll have to wait till the mark. It looks like they're going to actually mark him at about the 2. So first and goal, Scrappers at the Dragon 2-yard line. Ball is on the right hash mark for the Scrappers. Lone setback is Brian Dugan. Slots to each side. McBride down under. Quick handoff. Dugan up the middle. Fights for yardage. Didn't get in, I don't think.
He is.
Yes, they are. They late signal by the officials. And it's a 2-yard run by Brian Dugan with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second period. And the Scrappers are on the board once again.
Well, we're seeing what the running attack can do, and a pretty good tandem between Dugan and Hughes, staying pretty even on their yardage. And Dugan staying close to the ground there and able to fight for that 2 yards, make a good turn and go in on his back. And he broke the plane, and he's in for the score.
All right, we've got Stavely in to attempt the point after. There's the snap, low. Picked up by McGill, got it on the tee, and it is good, and another good job by Mark McGill. 34-0. Scrappers over the Dragons. We'll be back with more Scrapper football in a moment. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Okay, Scrappers leading 34-0, folks. Yes, you heard it. 34-0 over the Junction City Dragons here with 4:53 left in the first half of play. And let's see, I don't believe that's going to be Stavely kicking off. No, that is not Stavely. That is going to be Robert Cortez with the ball on the tee. He will be kicking south to north. Maybe Stavely will be kicking north to south this year, and Cortez kicking south to north. No, I don't think that's what it's going to be. But Cortez
I'll just let you entertain yourself. Whatever you want to do.
I'm killing time is what I'm doing until they start that clock. There's the kickoff. Cortez kicks it. It will be taken by Grayson at the 22-yard line, and he goes upfield, breaks the tackle, and he's going to be finally down at about the 40. And we'll wait till they mark it. Well, I'm on my last little place here on my very neat play sheet here. Call it the 39. So the Dragons with the ball at their own 39-yard line. Well, Dragons have had a little bit of success. Their last drive, they went from their own 44 and finally turned it over. A penalty really hurt them. And but they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays there. So that's not bad. And they had an 8-play drive earlier that resulted in nothing. Wishbone again, ball on the left hash mark. It's going to be handoff right up the middle of the fullback. And a host of scrappers in there. Looks like Westfall down on the bottom of that pile for the scrappers. And 2 or 3 others. Let's see, brings up second down. Well, I'm going to give him a yard. He didn't really gain a full yard, but we're going to give him a full yard because Rick cannot put 1/2 yard on his recapitulation sheet over here.
I can, but it sure messed things up somewhere down the line.
Second down and 9. Ball right in the middle of the field. Wishbone again for the Dragons. And they're going to hand it off, second man through. And boy, a swarm of defense. I mean, he never had a chance. Leslie Hendricks was in on the play, but folks, there was at least 5 or 6 players in there. Jad Johnson also in on that play. And the ball carrier that time was Mario Moore for the Dragons. And he actually lost that yard that they had gained. It'll bring up third down and about 10 yards to go for the Dragons. Wishbone again. They'll send their split end to the left side. These young men caught a pass earlier. That's Joey Allen. And they hand off. And it's going to be, well, I thought they blew the whistle. The young man wasn't down, but they blew the whistle, and he kind of broke out of there. And it might have been because that he did blow the whistle is the reason he got loose from the scrappers. The ball carrier was number 10, Jewel Easter, and another loss of a yard on that play, and it will bring up fourth down, and he's back in deep punt formation once again. That'll be Moore. Derek Reed and Paul Wayne Ray are back deep to receive now for the scrappers. And they're standing at about the 32. And Moore will receive the snap from center at about the 27-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 39. That's in Junction City's 39, that is. There's the snap, a good one. Scrappers are going after the block, didn't get it. High kick. Paul Wayne Ray fields it at the 39. Cuts to his right. He's at the 40. What a block. He could go 50, 45, 40. Down the sidelines. Couldn't quite outrun the defender at the 20-yard line. Do I see a flag? I think I do at about the Junction City 49, but somebody, I couldn't see it. It was out of the corner of my eye. Somebody on a block at about the Scrapper 40 just absolutely leveled somebody. A good job by Paul Wayne Ray to field that punt at about the Scrapper 39, cut to his right. And boy, I tell you, somebody leveled somebody, but there was another block at about the Junction City 48, and that's where the penalty will be assessed from.
That's a pretty good tandem to have back in your backfield too, Charles. When you got those two quick backs and young players back there that can return one like that, Paul Wayne stepping it up and showing that he'll help take some of the pressure off of Greg. And everyone can't just say, well, let's keep it away from Greg, because then Paul Wayne's got a lot of speed that he can be also a threat.
Well, Paul Wayne Ray, a sophomore, and I'll tell you what, he's getting a chance to get those butterflies out, and he's going to be a dandy. Mark it back now at the 37 of Nashville, where the Scrappers will take over 1st and 10 there. Lone setback for the Scrapper is Hughes. In motion to his left is going to be, that's a draw play to Hughes. And they really hit McBride. Hughes at the loose at the 45, cuts back, he's at midfield. Trying to arm tackle him on the Dragons, and he's still on his feet at the 40. He's at the 35, still on his feet at the 30, and just could not get loose from the last man, Sam Grayson.
He did some mighty fine.
What a run by Cleotis Hughes.
Several times doing some cuts clear across field, trying to change direction.
Folks, if you get a chance to see that one on the replay, you're going to enjoy that. That is a great run by Cleotis Hughes. Mark it at the 36-yard line. I believe that's right. No, I'm sorry, 26-yard line. Got all the way to the 26. Timeout on the field by the Dragons. 1:52 left here in the first half. Scrappers leading 34-0. You're listening to Scrapper Football. Scrappers with a first down, 1:52 left in the first half, leading for 34-0. First down at the Dragon 26-yard line. Robert Witherspoon is in at one of the setbacks, and I'll have to see, I believe that's still Dugan at the other. Pitch toss, Witherspoon, right side, tries to break a tackle. He does, still on his feet. He's at the 15, he's at the 10. He could go all the way, breaks the tackle, touchdown, Robert Witherspoon. Oh, what a run by Robert Witherspoon. Oh my, he was hit, I don't know how many times over there, Rick, but he had the balance that he needed to keep running. And we've seen two fine runs by Scrapper backs here the last two plays. A 26-yard touchdown run by Robert Witherspoon. And that comes with 1 minute and 38 seconds left here in the first half. Stabling in again for the point after. That makes it 40-0. McGill to hold. There's the snap. Placement's down. The kick is up, and it is no good. Just didn't quite make the crossbar. Had a little trouble on that one. So the score will hold at 40-0 Scrappers. With 1:38 left in the first half, you're listening to Scrapper Football. Cortez with the ball being placed on the tee, kicking south to north once again. Folks, this has been a long first half. It is 8:30. It's been only an hour. It seems like it's been longer than that.
You've been working so hard at something there, I don't know, but you...
Only an hour. Now we've got a 30-minute halftime, and only an hour in the second half. Now, there'll be a lot of running plays in the second half, believe me.
Well, there'll be some substitutions, too, I imagine, too, Charles. But, you know, in this first half so far, we have seen the Scrappers look pretty polished. You worry about how they might come out or what they look like, but this team has been polished. They've got potential to throw the ball. They've got some great receivers, and now you're seeing the running attack come together.
Here's the approach by Cortez. There's a kick by Cortez. Grayson again fumbled and caught it in the air after it hit his shoulder pads and bounced out. And I tell you can tell he's been hit 2 or 3 times tonight because he's just not quite as aggressive as what he was. Coming up to make the first hit is number 56, Scroggins, excuse me. So the Dragons will take over at the 34-yard line with 1:25 left here in the first half. And let's see, they got a new quarterback coming in? No, just a quarterback late coming out of the huddle, just what we were looking forward to. Center has them up to the line of scrimmage. Ball right in the middle of the field for the Dragons. Coming wide to the right side will be number 9. That's Joey Allen. Wishbone for the Dragons. Scrappers with some new players even on defense now. The quarterback drops, rolls, looks upfield, and he's going to be picked up by Latree Richards for about a 5-yard gain on the play. John Jordan came up first to cut him back inside, and Latree Richards came up to finish him off. I'll give him 5 yards on the play, and that was the quarterback for the Dragons, Nick Fisher. Clock running, 1:50 now, or excuse me, 50 seconds left in the half. Second down play for the Dragons. At their own 39, ball on the right hash mark. Again, it's a wishbone. Handoff, first man through. That is going to be, oh boy, he's gone.
Carlos Grimes.
I think Jordan can catch him. Marcus Jordan couldn't quite get him, and he'll stroll in from the 39. And folks, let's remember that was the second team defense that's in there. So that is a 61-yard run by Carlos Grimes. With that comes with 26 seconds left in the second period.
That gives Carlos Grimes 100 yards here in the first half. More importantly, a 61-yard run for a touchdown by Carlos Grimes. He's fine looking back. This is not a bad Junction City ball club. They have just been jumped on by the Scrappers early in the ball game. But Charles, you've seen a lot more spirit, and I think they're going to have a lot more competitive spirit being in Class A ball.
Well, the Scrappers have their first team out there. They kind of, I guess, thought, well, I started to say they thought they might go for two, but I guess this is just a regular defense here. Scrappers after the block, and they get it. And it was blocked, I believe that was Irby. Irby on the block for the Scrappers, so the score will hold at 40-6 Scrappers with 26 seconds left in the half. We'll be back in just a moment. We've got Lavelle Leaper and Paul Wayne Ray deep for the Scrappers. And your up man, let's see, Robert Witherspoon, and let's see if you turn a little bit more, I guess that is Dugan. So Dragons kicking north to south. They did not know who was going to be kicking off for them. And I'm assuming it's going to be number 5, Nick Fisher, but they said it might not be him. So I guess I'll just wait.
He's over on the sidelines now,
so it's not going to be him.
There were 2 different ones they alternated.
I'll tell you what, they just don't have a lot of players. I guess somebody needed a ball game. One of these guys needed a ball game, maybe both of them.
Probably Jewel Easter is going to be used.
Okay.
I think Easter.
Yeah, Easter is him. He is the one. And unless they send somebody else in, who knows? They may send in another one. Now they send in somebody else. Now he moved.
He's going.
My gracious.
You're getting me confused, and I'm sitting there watching
me. Well, it looked like it's going to be a fake something for a minute.
Right.
But actually, what the fake was, they faked themselves out. They don't know where they're supposed to be. Okay, Easter actually kicked it away. Paul Wayne Ray will field it at the 20, 25-30. 35-40. He's at the 45. He steps out of bounds at about the 49 of the Dragons. What a return by Paul Wayne Ray. He caught that thing on the fly. And the Scrapper sophomore turned it upfield. Good return by Paul Wayne Ray.
And he picked a good seam, Charles. He waited for that first opening, and it showed up there, and then he just kept a good angle, cutting out to the outside, and a good return. Set you up inside Junction City territory, just inside the 50-yard line.
Well, I would almost bet you it's a running play. Surely it will be. They surely will run this to Brian Dugan. Let's see what happens. 40-6 in motion goes Cleotis right up the middle. Brian Dugan breaks a tackle, breaks another one to the 40, picks up a first down. He gets 10 on the carry, and guess what? That stops the clock with the movement of the chains with 8 seconds. But that should be the end of the first half.
Charles, it gets pretty scary. Of course, it's real nice for us, but it gets pretty scary when you start seeing this much come together for this team. We knew the potential is there. They can throw the ball, a good running game, a defense that is coming along, has potential to be great, and this first half has shown it.
All right, the teams are leaving the field. The clock is still running, but it'll run on out. That's the end of the first half. Scrappers lead 40-6 over the Junction City Dragons. You're listening to Scrapper Football. We'll have halftime in just a moment.
to Junction City. We're getting set for the second half play-by-play, and the two teams are back out in Charles. Scrappers lead by a score of 40-6 after the first half of play. Just about got established and saw everything you expected, and the Scrappers looked great. I mean, opening ball game of everything that they've confronted this week, they came in here tonight and looked great. Junction City has a pretty good ball club, and I think, Charles, they are going to be competitive as their year goes on.
Well, I thought the Scrappers were going to receive, but evidently the Scrappers are going to kick it away. I guess the Scrappers have just decided to do that, to be the nice guy. So they kick it off in the first half, they kick it off in the second half to start each one of those. So Stavely with the ball on the tee, moving north to south, and the Dragons just now coming out onto the field. 40-6 our score here, beginning the second half. And we'll see whether the Scrappers will probably come out. Well, I'm not going to guess. I would assume they'd come out with their first team defense for at least a little while in the second half. Because as you can see, Carlos Grimes can break one real quick. Stavely kicks it off. It will go and be fielded at the 15. That's going to be Carlos Grimes. Tries to get outside. Good stiff arm by him, and he's going to step out of bounds at about the 28. And Witherspoon and Irby there, along with, let me see, that was number 25, Rodney Campbell also there. So mark it at the 28. Junction City will start right there with 11:52 left in the third period here to start the second half. Dragons down 40-6. Scrappers, I see some new players out there. Not Nick Nolte. I don't think it would be Nick Nolte. Jason Nolte out there. Nick Nolte taking time out from being an actor.
Everyone wants to be a part of this big program.
I guess they do. Everyone
He
does.
might.
Okay, also in there is John Jordan, right outside linebacker. Handoff, that goes to Grimes, and he picks up a smooth 9 yards over the right side. And let's see, coming up to make the tackle was Latree Richards for the Scrappers. That is a 9-yard run. No, that's a 10-yard run. We'll give him 10 on that, so it's a first down for the Dragons. And some of the starters are in there, but not all of them. Also, Joe Chisholm's out there for the Scrappers. Also, number 83, Chris Walker. So the Scrappers have already put substitutes into the ball game. Handoff, first man through, and a couple of Scrappers hitting. Good defense by the Scrappers. And carrying the ball is going to be Mario Moore. And he'll pick up maybe a couple of yards. We'll call it second down, long 8 now for the Dragons. Latree Richards, the initial defender for the Scrappers. And it's marked, let's see, we'll call it the 41. And the Dragons, of course, going with their number 1 unit. They don't have a whole lot more players on the sidelines. Looks like about another 15 or so out there. Wishbone formation, second down play, pitch toss. And what a hit. But he's going to get loose, and the Scrappers are going to converge on him. And that was number 10, Jewel Easter, on the carry. I believe that was Easter. And Joe Chisholm came up and got him. And it will be about a 3-yard gain. I'm going to call it third down and about 6 yards to go. Mark it at the 44-yard line. So Scrappers with substitutes out there, and they're doing a pretty fair job. 10 minutes left in the third period. 40-6 our score. In case you've missed it, ball just inside the left hash mark. And they'll send Larry to the left side. Again, the wishbone. The quarterback is Fisher. Handoff. And he's hit in the backfield, falls forward back to the line of scrimmage. And let me see who made that play. Pretty good play by a Scrapper defender. And that is going to be number 50, Clint Reed. So that will bring up fourth down. That's why that Carlos Grimes did not go any further than what he did. They're going to punt it away, I guess. On fourth down and about 6 at their own 44. And let's see, it will be Paul Wayne Ray and Greg Washington back deep to receive. And Mario Moore in deep punt formation. Standing on about his own 33-yard line. Should hit it around the 35. And there's a good snap. And he will kick it. Wobbly kick. Could hit a scrapper. Nope, bounce back in favor of the Scrappers. They're going to finally down it at about the 44. It hit at about the 39 and then went right back upfield to the 44. So Scrappers gain about 5 yards after the ball hit the ground. So mark it there. Scrappers take over in their own territory at their own 44.
Only about 12 yards on that punt, of course, with no return, as you mentioned. Scrappers getting a big break on the bounce.
And Paul Wayne Ray will split wide to the left side. It's split in, and Walker in the slot. You got a couple of new setbacks, I believe, in there, looks like. And it's going to be Irby on the carry, 45, 50, 45. Cuts back, breaks a tackle, cut back, and again still on his feet, and there's a flag. And Irby is going to be down at about the 35-yard line of the Dragons, but there's going to be probably a penalty against the Scrappers. Probably a hold, that's what it's going to be. There may have been an initial signal that there was a hold. What a run by Irby, though. Clip is what they're going to call. Okay. Well, let's bring that back. It is still first down. And it's going to be marked from the spot of the foul, evidently. So it's going to be about 1st and 20. Yeah, right at 20 yards to go for the first down. 8 minutes and 28 seconds left in the third. Score is still 40-6 Scrappers. Scrappers with their first possession in the second half. Split backs again. Dropping back. McGill wants to throw. Screen to Witherspoon. Hit and cannot get away. Good job of on the read by the linebacker Alan Tuma. Excuse me, defensive end Alan Tuma on the left side. And it will be another loss on that play. Scrapper set it up pretty good, but he read it pretty well also. So move it back now to the, we'll call it the 31. So second down and about what? 20 what, guys? 23. Scrappers still with a few new players in there, it looks like. Split backs again. That's Irby and Witherspoon. McGill, the quarterback, drops, looks, rolls, wants to throw, got a man open. If he can stand up, and he was stumbling and he couldn't stand up, the ball was there, and that was Walker. And I'll tell you, he was wide open. That might have been a quick 6 if he could have just kept his feet. He stumbled over the midfield stripe, it looked like, and it went incomplete at the 40. Touched his hand. It was a little bit behind him, and as he tried to adjust to come back on the ball, he just couldn't change his momentum, and he just kept falling forward. So that will bring up a a second down now for the Scraps. Third down. What am I saying? Third down. And mark it at the, like I said, at the 31. So Martin in the slot. Got double slots now for the Scrappers. Witherspoon the setback. McGill wants to throw. Caught, no, went off his hands. I thought Paul Wayne Ray was going to come down with it, but it was just right in his hands, and it went right through. It was above him now, don't get me wrong. It was above him, but I thought he was going to catch it. That's the reason I said that. They'll bring up fourth down now and long for the Scrappers. And the Scrappers will have their first punt of the night, and I believe Brandon Rowland is going to do the punting for the Scrappers. No, I am wrong. It is going to be Robert Cortez. Well, he had been practicing, but had been told possibly that, Rowland's going to do the snapping.
Snapping.
Deep snapper is Rowland. There it is. Cortez fields it. And a wobbly kick off to the right and hits at the 45, bounces up in the air. That's the Dragon 45, and downing it will be Dugan at the 44-yard line. So the Dragons will take over. Pretty good field position at their own 44 with 7 minutes exactly left in the third period. Scrappers leading 40-6. Well, we wanted to try to get a commercial break in every once in a while, and Rick decided he would just time it first to see if he could possibly do that on these
I think
exchanges.
We can get it.
Rick says, I think it'll work. I think I can make a little bit of money here if you just give me a chance.
Service to my sponsors.
Oh, service to your sponsor.
That's right.
Well, we do appreciate him, or we would be on the air.
That's right.
You bet. First down at the Dragon 44 for the Dragons. Wishbone split into the left. Nick Fisher passes across the middle, and it's complete. And I think he thought he was going to get hit. That was Brantley on the reception, and he just kind of stayed doubled over, and he kind of was moving forward, waiting for somebody to just level him, and it really never happened. They finally downed him at the 41-yard line of the Dragons, and that is a first down. And they've been a little bit successful passing the ball tonight, Rick. We need to emphasize that they have been able to complete some passes over the middle. And Nick Fisher drops again. Again the pass, and it's this time almost intercepted. And on that, Jason Nolte almost had it, and he was trying to cover number 84, which is Cower, and the ball was behind him just a little bit, and Nolte had a chance, couldn't quite come up with it. That brings up second down with 6:25 left here in the third. And the ball on the left hash mark. Wishbone formation, split into the left side. Fisher down under at quarterback. He'll crossbuck Mario Charles. That is Grimes on the carry. Well, one's 33 and the other's 3, and I got 1-3 there, but he picks up about 6 yards on the carry across the 35. DeMarco Piggy on the tackle. At about the 34, also in on the play was Cody Jordan. That'll bring up a third down situation for the Dragons. Third and about 4 yards to go. And the wishbone formation once again for the Dragons. Fisher down under, and I believe there's going to be too much time by the Dragons. Let's wait and see. There was a whistle. Delay. No, offsides are going to call it against the Scrappers. Oh boy, I thought it was going to be a delay. I do not see a 25-second clock, and I'm assuming that they do not have one since I do not see it. So I couldn't tell. That is 7 penalties for 70 yards against the Scrappers, and I'm not surprised that the Scrappers aren't being watched so maybe a little bit closer to the Dragons with the score as it is. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons now at the 30-yard line. Handoff goes. Ball's on the ground. Scrappers are going to recover it. And that was number 10 on the carry, Jewel Easter. And number 5 on the recovery, Joe Chisholm. So with 5:10 now left here in the third period, Scrappers come up with a fumble, recovery, and mark it to 23. So the defense holds. And the Scrappers have their, I think the first team line is still pretty well in there for the Scrappers. At least some of them. Looks like they're all in there. But all the receivers and the backs are the pitch toss. That's going to be Witherspoon on the carry, I believe. That's Witherspoon. And he will get first down yardage as he crosses the 35 to the 38-yard line. Pretty good run by Robert Witherspoon, but there was also some pretty good blocking out there. That was just a pitch toss on the sweep to the right side. And nothing fancy, but it was blocked pretty good. And we'll take that kind of yardage every time. About the 38-yard line, maybe just outside of it a little bit. Ball on the right hash mark now for the Scrappers. And Ray will go to the right side, Ray to the left side, Walker right. Split backs now for the Scrappers. Handoff, Witherspoon up the middle. He's got yardage. He's got a first down across the midfield stripe to about the 49-yard line of the Dragons. And it was just straight ahead blocking, straight ahead handoff. Nothing fancy, just power football by the Scrappers. And the Dragons are tired. Let's just tell it like it is. They're tired and they're wore out. The Scrappers have just had too many folks and too many plays on tonight. Really not too many plays. They've scored nearly every time they've had it. They haven't had any long, sustained drives. This is probably the best sustained drive that the Scrappers have had tonight. And they've only had 2 plays in it so far. Here we go, handoff. No, McBride could not get the handoff completed, and he's going to be thrown for a loss back at the 44, maybe even 43-yard line. Well, it was just a mix-up on the plot. That'll bring up second down for the Scrappers back at the Scrapper 43. So about an 8-yard loss on that play. It'll bring up second down and 18. 3:25 left in the third. 40-6 our score. Scrappers with the lead. We'll try to get a few scores from around the area for you, maybe before the game is over, but we will certainly have them after the game. And long setback now is going to be Witherspoon, and slots to each side now for the Scrappers. In motion goes Irby to his left. Pitch toss. Ball's on the ground. Witherspoon picks it up. And let's see, did he get it? I guess he did. I couldn't tell whether he actually got it or whether one of those Dragons flew in there. It looked like he might have recovered it. But Witherspoon did come up with it at the 38. So the Scrappers, and this is good practice for this unit. They need to do that because you never know who might get hurt. You got to have everybody ready. So the Scrappers will be faced with a long third down now, and about 22 or 3 yards to go. McBride drops. Long pass downfield. Walker has a chance. He's got it at the 30, 25, 20, 15. He makes a cut at the 10-5. Touchdown, Walker. McBride on a long pass, and he just threw it right over, McGill on the pass. And what a pass by Mark McGill. And Walker had that thing. It looked like a snow cone out there for a minute. That ball was just on the tips of his hands. He just barely had it. And they finally got it tucked in, and he was gone. So that went from the 38-yard line.
62 yards.
62 yards on the pass. Mark McGill. And to Walker. Well, I tell you what, this takes a lot of riding here. That was on a third down play and about 23. And the Scrappers do it again. And Stavely in to attempt the point after again. McGill to hold. There's a snap. Placement down. It's a bad snap, or he just mishandled it. And McGill will run it in for a 2-point conversion. So the Scrappers get the 2-point conversion with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left now in the third period. And the Scrappers now lead 48-6 over the Junction City Dragons. 2:05 left, as I said, in the third. We'll take a break. Be back in a moment. 48-6, the Scrappers lead. 2:05 left in the third. And the Scrappers are just about ready to kick it off again. And coming in is going to be Cortez to kick it off for the Scrappers. And just now coming in and getting the ball on the tee. Grimes back, is your deep return. He's legitimate. He's a good one. There's the approach by Corte has got a toe in it. It's going to hit. Grimes will pick it up at the 7. He's back to the 10, the 15, the 20. Makes a little leap up in the air. And coming up to make that hit, I believe that was number 81. That is Darrell Pryor. That got him all messed up. And, of course, a couple other scrappers come in to finish him off. But Pryor was the first one down there. And as Grimes tried to leap over him, he was just off balance, and then he was finished off at the 25. So the Dragons take over there at their own 25. We've got 1:37 to go here in the third period, and I noticed they kept the clock running that time. I do appreciate that. And we're in a wishbone formation. Split in to the left side. Pitch toss, it goes to Grimes. He'll try that right side, still on his feet. Picks up about 10 yards. Looks like enough for the first down, and it's going to be, it'll just be where the spot is, wherever that's at. And about 4 or 5 scrappers in on the play. Rico Newton checking out of the game. A couple of other scrappers are coming in now. Philando Ware is in the ball game. The officials say we need to look at it, I guess. So there's going to be a timeout on the field for a measurement. 48 seconds left in the third. We will be back in just a moment.
I think it's just slightly too.
Toss to number 40. That'll be Grayson after the first down, and he will get up to about the 38-yard line. And it looks like Philando Ware coming up to make the hit for the Scrappers along with Jason Nolte. So give him 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up second down and 8. And that's the end of the third period. Scrappers lead after 3, 48-6 over the Junction City Dragons. We'll be back with a fourth and final period right after these commercial messages. Just about ready to start the fourth and final period here in Junction City. The Scrappers leading 48-6 over the Dragons. And I tell you what, folks, this is not that bad of a Junction City Dragon football team. They really believe, and talking with some of the folks here in the press box, that the Dragons are going to be competitive in their conference, which, as I mentioned in the pregame, they're playing in the 7A East Conference. Scrappers beat this bunch last year 55-7. And looks like about the same. This looks like it might be a little bit easier this year than it even was last year. But they're going to be competitive in their own conference. Pitch toss. It's going to go to Grayson. He'll try to get outside. Makes a cut. Got another cut. Got him a first down at the 45. And it looked like Garrett Robinson came up and made the hit on him. And it is enough for another first down for the Dragons. And they will mark it, as I said, 46. And the Dragons have used quite a few players that split in, and maybe a couple of others that a couple of the setback positions, but for the most part, now they're putting a few new ones in now. There's a good run right there over the right side for a first down, maybe about 12 on the play. Look like, let's see, Chisholm in on the play along with DeMarco Piggy. But give him about 13 yards on that carry, Rick. 12 would be more like it, I guess. Mark at the 43. I like to say one thing and then come back with something else, because as Rick writes it down, he has to use that eraser over there. And he doesn't have one. He's got ink. Here we go. Fisher drops back, rolls, wants to throw. Overthrown. Intended for number 44, Josh Kennedy. And let's see, looks like Rodney Campbell came up on the defense for the Scrappers. And that will bring up second down for the Dragons. 10:37 left here in the third period. And it's been a tough ball game for the Dragons. Scrappers have pretty well had their way. It's been the second team most of the way here in the second half. In fact, it has been. There's a handoff up the middle. Pretty good hit right there by number 57, Philando Ware. And it looks like the ball carrier might be a little bit shaken up, because it looked like he put it right in his breadbasket. He's going to get to the 38, about a 5-yard gain on the play. And that young man is getting up slow. Let's see who it is. That is number, let me see, that's number 30, Jason Moore. And he's going to come out. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. That'll bring up a third down now for the Dragons. And about 5 yards to go, maybe a little less than that. Let's just say 4.5. Ball still on the right hash mark for the Dragons. They'll split out Telly Larry to the right side. And as I said, it's the wishbone. That's what they've used all night. Quarterback is going to be thrown for a loss. Big play, and that is going to be Marcus Jordan in on the play for the Scrappers, number 85. From the right defensive end, threw him for a loss all the way back at about the 44-yard line. Good job by Marcus Jordan. That was an option to the left, and Marcus Jordan was there before the quarterback was. And there's, again, shuffling players in and out. Justin Brantley checks in. It's split end for the Dragons. And it'll be fourth down and about 12. They're going for it, and I understand. And a quarterback wants to drop, wants to throw. There's a pass almost intercepted by, it looked like Chisholm had a chance for a moment, hit him, bounced up in the air, and then Campbell had a chance. It was intended for Brantley, but there were two Scrappers there, and that was Chisholm and Campbell, and it goes incomplete, and the Scrappers will take over at the 44-yard line. And that's with 8 minutes now left in the ball game. And it's going to be Blake Young, your Scrapper quarterback. And a host of other players in there. One of the tackles, Alex Hicks.
Jack Martin checks out wide to this side.
All right. And we'll see who the setbacks are. I believe that's still going to be Witherspoon, or is it? Yeah, Witherspoon, and there's a new one there. And that, let me see who that was. That was Dimitri Hughes. And that's, I guess, Cleotis' younger brother, is it not? I believe it is.
I believe so.
I believe so. And he's going to pick up a quick 7 yards. It'll be second down and 3 for the Scrappers. And Dimitri looked pretty good on that run. Looked pretty quick. Checking wide to the left side is Martin. And I didn't catch who it was that went to the other side. So Blake Young, your quarterback, hands off right up the middle. That's Witherspoon, close to a first down. Should be enough and maybe a little bit more for the first down. Marking it about the 44-yard line of the Dragons. And surely they're not going to measure it. Are they going to measure that? No. They're going to say it is third down. Well, that looks like a first down to me, y'all. Oh, well. they're going to get it right here, believe you me. Let's get some more of those players on there if we can, Rick. And I know they want to get their names on the air also. So here we go on this third down play. Handoff. Witherspoon's got the first down by about 3 yards or so. And that'll stop the clock with the movement of the chains. 6:52 left in the ball game. 48-6 our score. And it'll be marked at the 41. And let's see here. Checking into the ball game.
In the line.
Yeah, Alex Hicks, I mentioned him a moment ago.
Okay.
I just can't see the rest of them. I turned sideways, and it looks like well, I'm not sure who this is.
Brandon Rowland, I believe.
Okay, and that is 35 out there is Finley, Jamar Finley. And there's a run by Witherspoon. What a good run by Witherspoon as he breaks it around the left side to the 25-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 23.
67 and also 73 is in there. It's Justin Moses and also Jason Kennedy.
All righty. Well, we're getting some of the younger guys in there, folks. Kennedy, a sophomore. And Hicks is a sophomore. He's in there. And here we go, first down, Scrappers at the 23. This is a handoff. This goes to Hughes. And he'll break it over the left side for a couple of yards. And let's see where they mark it. Right on the 20, giving 3. And let's see here. I'd like to get these guys on there if at all possible. It's just hard to pick them all up. And it looks like, well, here we go. We'll get this play. Second down and 7 at the 20. Split backs again. Pitch toss. Witherspoon. Going to try the right side. Breaks it outside. Cuts back. First down more. And he is going to be collared at about the, well, I'm not sure what it is, around the 10-yard line. Maybe the 11. It is a first down for the Scrappers. 5:18 left here in this period. And they'll set the clock. And it'll start running. 5:10 left. Scrappers with their final drive. And as we said, the Scrappers won last year 55-7. And it looks like it's going to get close to that if they punch this one in, and I won't be surprised. Philip Clark out there in the slot for the Scrappers. And there's a handoff right up the middle. That's Witherspoon. And he'll break it inside the 10, close to the 6-yard line. And I'll give him 5 yards on that carry. Bring up second down. Scrappers can pick up a first down at about the 1.5 yard line, it looks like. Ball is still on the right hash mark. Clock running, 4:20 now left in the ball game. Jack Martin checks wide to the left side. And in the slot will be number 35, Jamar Finley. Blake Young, hands off to Demetric Hughes, breaks it over the right side, close to the first down marker. He's going to be a little bit shy of it. Inside the 5, should be around the 3-yard line is where they'll mark him. So that will bring up a third down for the Scrappers. It looked like for a minute that he was really found a seam there, and it closed pretty quick. I'll tell you what, these Dragons, you can see them, they are tired. But they're giving up they're giving it all they've got, but when you see them stretching those knee pads down with their hands on their knees and their hands on their waist and they're bent over, you know they're sucking some wind. So Hughes, that's Demetric Hughes, and Witherspoon's the setback. Blake Young, the quarterback. Handoff, Spoon up the middle. Touchdown, Scrappers. And Robert Witherspoon goes in from 3 yards out with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the ball game, and the Scrappers are on the board again. And it looks like that I believe that Cortez is going to try the extra point for the Scrappers instead of Stavely. And that is correct. And the Scrappers have a little bit of trouble now getting people out there on the field. And it could be a penalty forthcoming. Well, they're out there now. They're about ready to line up. Probably not. So anyway, Cortez will try the extra point. There's the snap. Placement down. Cortez kicks it, and it is no good. A little sidewinder. And it was a line shot. But it did not go through the uprights. In fact, I believe it went under the uprights. 54-6 our score with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the ball game. We'll be back in just a moment. The Scrappers have scored with 3:18 left in the fourth period. 54-6 our score, and the Scrappers are just about ready to kick it away. Well, we have a little news here that Prescott is leading Ashdown 20-6 in the third quarter. So we heard Ashdown was going to be a pretty good ball club this year, and if they are a pretty good ball club, that means that Prescott is a really good ball club. But we know that they are. We knew they were going to be. They're the real deal. There's the kickoff by Cortez. And he's squibbed down the field, missed by Grayson. He'll finally pick it up at about the 8, back to the 9. He's going to be swamped under there at about the 11 or 12 yard line. And they're just worn out, folks. The Dragons are dragging. That didn't come by me. That wasn't original. Brent thought that up back in the control room back in Nashville. Is one claim to fame tonight, I guess. Mark it at the 11. And 3 minutes exactly. Left in the game. Hey, this is coming along pretty good. 9:30. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Haven't passed a lot, however, in the second half. It's been mostly running. And that did help to go a little quicker. Well, there's going to be a timeout, however, by the Dragons. 3 minutes left in the game, 54-6 Scrappers. We're going to take a timeout. Be back in a moment. You're listening to Scrapper Football. 3 minutes exactly left here in the ball game. The Dragons taking over on the kickoff at their own 11. After the kickoff was fumbled around by Grayson, tried to return it, but only returned it for 2 or 3 yards. So bad field position and bad score for the Dragons, 54-6. First half, the Scrappers were just absolutely perfect. And you can't say a whole lot about how good they actually were. The Scrappers had to hold the score down. They just had to go to the running game. What a terrible thing to do. I know Coach Larry's going to hate that, to go to the running game, but he didn't have a choice. Wishbone formation. Fisher, hands off, up the middle, nothing, maybe a yard. And let's see, 53 is in there. That is Brian Couch for the Scrappers. And also in there now is Sharon Hawthorne for the Scrappers. Lots of 10th graders out there now, getting a little taste of Scrapper football, high school style. Whatever that's supposed to mean there, folks. But anyway, Daryl Pryor out there. 64 out there is Garrett Robinson. And as I mentioned, Brian Couch is out there, and let's see if I can get some more here after the play. Second down, 10. And there's the handoff, and not much. Not much at all. And on the carry, getting up slow was Grimes. And you know, Rick, it really surprises me. This game is over. And it kind of surprises me that Grimes is still out there on the football field for Junction City. You take him away from Junction City, they become a lot more ordinary than what they are. And the game is out of reach. You got a minute and a half left, 54-6, and now he finally comes out of the ball game. I wouldn't want to waste my best player on a game that I know I'm not going to win. I know he wants him to get some work, but anyway, you take him out of this game that's not going to mean much to him. And boy, I tell you what, Marcus Jordan just threw somebody to the ground. And there was the carry, and that was by number Jason Moore, and it looks like making the tackle for the Scrappers was Garrett Robinson. Philando Ware was in there also, I believe, on that play. It'll bring up fourth down now for the Dragons. And let's see, the spot of the ball is the 18-yard line. That's the Dragon 18. Well, it's fourth and about 3. And they're going to send wide to the left side. Another split in, Jesse Cole. There's a handoff, and that's going to be fighting for the first down. I don't know whether he got it or not. That's going to be Grayson. It is very, very close. And he may have got a good spot. They're going to give it to him anyway. I don't blame them. Give it to him. 23 seconds left in the ball game. And that will stop the clock with the movement of the chains. And we may have one play left in this ball game, folks. Well, if it hadn't sounded real exciting to you, hey, it's 54-6. We've scored on nearly every play that we run in the first half, and it was over. It was over after the kickoff, I would have to say. After the Scrappers kicked it off, it was over. Oh, yeah. 1 second. That's it. They said it, and that finally ran out the clock. Rick, I wouldn't call it a big victory, but it's a good victory for the Scrappers, 54-6. And I believe one of the Dragons is over on the sidelines, and he is hurting. And that's one of their starters. That's Grayson, and he's a dandy. But anyway, the Scrappers come out, and the Dragons go out, and they shake hands, and they slap each other. And, hey, there was a few things going on out there